ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदम् पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगम् सर्वम् यत्किञ्च जगत्याम् जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम् कुर्वन्नेवेह कर्माणि जिजीविषेच्छतगम् समाः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति। I'm sorry. न कर्म लिप्यते नरे असूर्यानाम ते लोका अन्धेन तमसावृताः तागंस्ते प्रेत्याभिगच्छन्ति ये केचात्महनो जनाः अनेजदेकम् मनसो जवीयः नैनद्देवा आप्नुवन् पूर्वमर्षत् तद्धावतो अन्यानत्तेति तिष्ठत् तस्मिन्नपो मातरिश्वा दधाति तदेजति तन्नेजति तद्दूरे तद्वन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः यस्तु सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मन्येवानुपश्यति सर्वभूतेषु चात्मानं ततो न विजुगुप्सते यस्मिन् सर्वाणि भूतानि आत्मैवाभूद्विजानतः तत्र को मोहः कः शोकः एकत्वमनुपश्यतः सपर्यगात् शुक्रम् अकायमवृणम् अस्नाविरम् शुद्धम् अपापविद्धम् कविर्मनीषी परिभूः स्वयंभू यथा तथ्यथोत्थान् व्यदधात् शाश्वतीभ्यः समाभ्यः अन्धन्तमः प्रविशन्ति ये विद्यामुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो य उविद्यायागं रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्विद्यया अन्यदाहुरविद्यया इति शुश्रुम धीराणाम् येनस्तद्व्यजचक्षिरे विद्याम् च यस्तद्वेदोभयगम् सः अविद्यया मृत्युम् तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते अन्धन्तम प्रविशन्ति ये सम्भूतिमुपासते ततो भूय इव ते तमो ये सम्भूत्यागुम् रताः अन्यदेवाहुर्सम्भवात् अन्यदाहुरसम्भवात् इति शुश्रुमधीराणाम् येनस्तद्विचचक्षिरे हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापिहितम् मुखम् तत्त्वम् पूषन्नपावृणु सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये पूषन् एकर्षे यमः सूर्यः प्राजापत्य व्यूहरश्मिन् समूह तेजो यत्ते रूपम् कल्याणतमम् तत्ते पश्यामि योऽसावसौ पुरुषः सोऽहमस्मि वायुरनिलम् अमृतम् अथेदम् भस्मान्तगम् शरीरम् ॐ क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर क्रतो स्मर कृतगम् स्मर अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्माज्जुहुराणमेनो भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम भूयिष्ठाम् ते नम उक्तिम् विधेम ईशिताः सर्वभूतानाम् सर्वभूतमयश्च यः ईशावास्येन सम्बोध्यम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ईश्वरम् तम् नमाम्यहम् ओम
Hari Om. Thank you, Nitya.
हरि ओम बिंदु
नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Welcome all to the first session of Isavasyopanishad. Isavasyopanishad is considered to be one of the oldest Upanishad in the history of mankind because it belongs to Shukla Yajurveda and it is part of the Samhita part. After 39 chapters of Karmakanda, the 40th chapter is the one which is dealing with Isavasyopanishad. As per the Shukla Yajurveda, there are two Pada-Vedas. One is Kanva Shaka and the other is Madhandina Shaka. But both the Shakas, even though there are mantras different in the 39 chapters, the 40th chapter is more or less the same except for marginal few variations in the wordings, but the meanings are the same. Now, if we look at the Yajurveda per se, the historians place the Yajurveda something around 5,000 years plus from today. So we are talking about a period where there was no printing, no what you call sort of, methodology in which it would have been written down or conveyed the text other than the Shabda tradition or the oral tradition that was prevalent at that time. Now, if you look at it, even the language of the Yajurveda, especially that is appearing here in the Isavasyopanishad, we cannot classify it as Sanskrit itself. Even though it has got very similarity with Sanskrit, the modern classical Sanskrit is about 1,000 years prior to the Christ period, that is 1000 BC. That is when Panini has written down the Ashtadhyayi and the modern classical Sanskrit. So this is something we are talking about is another 2000 years prior to that. So therefore, the words which are used in this Upanishad cannot be given a typical Sanskrit meaning, even though a lot of the modern commentators have used the classical Sanskrit to decipher the Upanishad. But as per the records, the earliest commentary in Sanskrit itself is that of Adi Shankara, which is about 600 to 700 AD. So you can imagine that 3000 plus another 600, 3500 years after the appearance of this mantras is what Shankaracharya has written the commentary on. So therefore he also has resorted to the classical Sanskrit in his commentary and the explanation. It is not that it is deviating from the meanings of the mantras, but it is more so we have to understand the period which we are talking about. A period where the language is different, the way of life is different, the culture is different, and the intended meaning of the words may be not the similar or the same as what we are expecting today. But we have no option to go back to that age and get the real meaning or the real import of those mantras, because mantras, as we know, mananat trayate iti mantra. Mananat, using manana, what has been revealed to the rishis, which has been used by them trayate for realizing the truth, to come to the nididhyasana, and then what they did as a Atma Sallabam or a ranting to themselves in the joy of the revelation of the truth, what comes out or what came out during that time were used by those who heard it or who were surrounded by him, repeated it, because by mere repetition of the mantras, they were also taken to that level of the truth. So the mantras per se has the power or the potential. That is why it is called Mananat Prayate. So the mantras are not mere mantras as we all see it in the textbooks. They are live tradition passed down to us by the rishis who have realized the truth through their rantings, and now we are looking at those mantras with our scholarly input plus our modern system of living, and disconnected from the Vedic life. We are not even aware of many of those words which were used during the Vedic period, which is appearing in this Upanishad. For example, the Vidya, Avidya, Sambudhi, etc. are the words which today you cannot give the same meaning what those were there 5,000 years back. What they were meaning to them at that time is definitely not known to us. But we had no option but to resort to what Shankaracharya has written in his commentary. So, with these limitations in the mind and using the methodology of the Rishi of chanting them to take him to the level of the truth or immerse one's true nature in the revelation of the mantras by chanting them or by going through the mantras with the meanings what are given to us. So it is important for us to see that we do not deviate and give specific meaning to the mantra words with our modern knowledge or modern what you call correlation with other subjects which we are using. They have unique meaning So it is better to stick to what Acharya Shankara has mentioned in his commentary, go by that. Today I will be going through these mantras and keeping in mind Shankara's commentary in my explanation as much as possible, because I'm not going to read the commentary of Shankara and explain word by word, because that needs a special what you call preparation and language of knowledge of Sanskrit language, etc., which I know that most of the members of the audience are not equipped with. So expecting that knowledge of Sanskrit to follow the Bhashya will be difficult both for me as well as for you all, for the audience to understand that. But I will not be deviating from the meaning of the Bhashya, what Shankara has been writing, what he has written down against each of those mantras. As much as possible, I'll stick to that and take you through those mantras in the coming coming time. What what we can share in the 18 mantras of this Upanishad. We have here 18 mantras from the Upanishad. Prior to that, we have the famous Shanti mantra, Purnamada Purnamidam, which we all know. We have been chanting it many times. But today I am going to explain the meaning from the Advaitic perspective of the Shankara Bhashya, what he has written in the Brihadaranya, 5th chapter, first Brahmana, first mantra. He has mentioned this detailed commentary of Purnamada there. But I am only going to read the Bhashya mantra, Bhashya meaning, and then explain to that as much as possible to clear the Bhashya for all of your understanding. So I'll chant the mantra first. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So here in this, first I will read what Shankara has written in the Bhashya for this. Then I'll go by the meaning of it and then give the intended Advaita meaning to that. Purnamadaha. Purnam na kutaschit vyavrittam vyapti iti etat. Nishta cha kartari drashtavya adaha iti parokshavidayi sarvanama. Tad param brahma ityartah. So he is talking about Purnamada, the first word of the mantra. Purnam na kutaschit vyavrittam vyapteti etat. Purnam is the word, means vyavrittam, means spread everywhere, or what you call like space and occupying everything. Vyapti iti etat. So normally purnam purayati iti purayati is the verb which means which fills up. Puranat, purnam. What that which fills up? Say for example, if we fill the water in a pot, we say that the pot is full of water. Now the full of is the meaning of Purnam. Now, Purnam Adaha, here the word Adaha is there. Adaha iti Parokshabhidai Sarvanama. It is a common name. Parokshabhidai. What is not immediately perceivable or immediately conceivable, all the rest will fall under the word Adaha. Now, in the Advaita, keep it in mind, there are two sets of words. Adaha, idam, tat and tvam. Now these two combinations are the words where adaha is one adaha and idam is used for adaha to denote that which is purnam or full, or in other words, Brahma. Idam is what is all perceivable, Jagat or this world, which or whatever is within the perception of our normal perceivable world is contained in the world Idam. The same way, Tat Tvam, this also Tat stands for Brahma, and Tvam, even though it is for you and your world, the Jagat. So, these two words, whenever you hear it, immediately you should relate that the word Tvat means, in Advaita it is referring to Brahman. Tvam means you and your world. Same way, Adaha means is Purnam or Brahman, and Idam means the world, perceivable world. So, Paroksha Abhidayi Sarvanama Tad Brahma Ityartha. So, the meaning of that word Adha is Brahma. So, Purna Madaha, the Vyavritti or the spread in which Brahman has occupied, Paroksha Abhidayi, where it is not perceivable by us. So let us take it this way, what is known and what is unknown. Now, the unknown is what is Paroksha Abhidayi. Paroksha Abhidayi means what cannot be known is called unknown, and that is Purnam. That what is not known to us right now, because we do not know what is Brahman to us. So it is unknown to us in one way, but at the same time, it is full in itself. Not only because it is unknown, because it is standing for Brahman. And Purnamidam is the next word. There also word the Purnam is coming, which is standing for Brahman. Idam means this perceivable word. So what Shankaracharya says that Tat Sampurnam Akashavat Vyapi Nirandaram Nirupadigam Cha. That Tat Brahma is Sampurnam, is complete in all respect. Purnam, Sampurnam, both meanings are the same. Only the word has got a suffix sam, which means complete in all aspects. Purnam means full. So Sampurnam, Tat or Adaha is Brahman, which is Sampurnam, complete. Akashavat Vyapi. Like the space, it is Vyapi. It is, occupying everything. Nirandaram. Andaram means gap. Nirandaram means without gap. Like the space doesn't have a gap. So too, Brahman doesn't have a gap. It is spread like space everywhere. Nirupadigam. Upadigam means depending upon the equipment or the container. Nirupadigam means there is no restriction for any container to restrict the occupation of the space or limit the space to itself. For example, if we say the space in a jar, even though we say the space in a jar, it is not really a space in a jar. The space is everywhere. The jar is appearing in the space. It is a container. That doesn't mean the space is contained by the jar. The space is everywhere, including its own body, and it's inside, it's outside. Everywhere space is there. Same way, the Brahman is occupying everything without upadhi, without any instrument. Tadeva, that itself, the same Tat which is Brahman, idam sopadigam nama rupastam vyavaharapannam purnam svena rupena paramatmana vyapi eva. In the case of the word idam, the second combination of purnamada purnamidam, the idam is sopadigam. It is with upadi, like body occupation, where we are seeing that, like the container occupying the space, we say. Same way, the jivas, the jagat in the world, whatever perceivable, they are all occupying space and remaining in space. Same way, sopadigam, nama rupastam, nama and rupa. Using the nama rupa, they are standing. Stam means they occupy and exhibit, or they remain in the nama and rupa by the name and form. Vyavaharapannam, and is utilized for vyavahara or for their transactional purpose. But they are purnam. They are also complete, like the space occupying any instrument. The space is not contained or constricted by the equipment. It is occupying the space. The instrument is occupying the space. The space is not occupying the instrument. Same way, purnam svena rupena, in the rupena, as a jiva or as a perceivable world, or the equipments or the creations in the world, paramatmana vyapi eva. They are all engulfed in the Paramatma only. So, both the known and the unknown is completely immersed by Paramatma or Brahman. Na upadi parichinna visheshatmana. Don't think that because it is upadi, the jiva is there, the perceivable world is there with the nama rupa, the upadi will not restrict or bifurcate or divide the Brahma or the space, Visheshatmana, by creating special categories. Like Jivatma is a special category. No. Jivatma and Paramatma, there is no difference. That is what is coming to space, is by saying that, denying this. That there is no Upadi Parichinna Visheshatmana. Tadidam Visheshapannam Karyatmakam Brahma Purna Tat Karanatmana Udrichyate Udichet Tietat. Tadidam, that here, Tadapi, even though Yat Swarupam Purnatvam, the Swarupam or the real nature of those which are appearing in Brahman are in the Swarupa of Brahman only. And they are Purna in nature, because what comes from Purna can only be Purna. Therefore, they are not going to differentiate from the Purnatvam, even though they are appearing as name and form. Paramatmatva bhavam tad na jahati. They are not abandoning the Paramatma bhava. Paramatma bhavam of Brahman, that Atma bhavam is in the restricted appearances, but in the total Brahman or the Purna, it is Paramatma bhavam. That is never abandoned, even though the individual instruments are appearing inside the Purnatvam or Brahman. Tadna jahati. Brahma eva Purna Karna Atmana Udyachede Udichyede. It is only Brahma which is appearing or coming up as the instruments but not by leaving its own Swarupa, Swayam Rupa. Yadyapi Karyatmana Uddhyachade Tadapi Swarupam Purnatvam Paramatvam Tad na Jahadi Purnameva Uddhyachade. Even though it is appearing as a Jivatma, the Jivatma is in Purna Swarupa of the Brahman only. There is no way it is appearing different. Now when we go into the Upanishad, not this one, in the Brihadaranya and all, we will find that the example of the fire and the sparkles coming out of the fire as an example. So there you will find that the fire has not left the fiery nature of the fire, even though when it is appearing in the form of a sparkle. Same way, the Paramatma, when appearing as the name and form, is not abandoning its own nature of Paramatma Bhava or Purnatvam, even though when it is appearing as the Jiva or the perceived universe. Purnameva Uddhyachade. It is appearing in the full form itself, because it can never be divided or restricted under any circumstances, because it is Purnam always. It is Purnam as unknown, it is Purnam as known. In both the Purnam, in the condition, it can never leave the Purnatvam. Purnasya Karyatmano Brahmanaha Purnam Purnatvam Adaya Grihitva Atma Swarupaiga Rasatvam Apadya Vidyaya. Now what has happened? Purnasya Karyatmano Brahmanaha. Now Karyatma, that is the appearances which are appearing in the Brahman, they are all called Karyatmana. The Karyatma means in the form of effect. The Atman is in the form of an effect. Purnasya, so it is a Visheshna Visheshya. So Purnasya means Karyatmanaha. Both are the meaning is the same. It is the Purnat Brahmanaha is the meaning. That Brahmanaha or the Brahman of the Brahman or of the Purna or the appearance which is in the form of Karyatma. Whatever you say, whether you say Purna, whether you say Brahma, or whether you say the Jivatma. Purnam means Purnatvam. In the Purna, in the Karyatma, or in the Brahman, or in the Purna, there is a Purnatvam. The nature of being complete in all respect. Now, the completeness can never be taken out from the complete, whatever is complete. Same way, the Purnatvam is the completeness of Brahman or Atman or the Jivan Jivatman. That Adaya or Grihitva, how does it become? Atma Swarupaika Rasatvam Apadya. Atma Swarupa Eka Rasatvam. Now when it is Atma Eka Rasam, now we have listened to this Eka Rasam in the Mandukya Upanishad. The Atma Swarupam is the Eka Rasam. That Eka Rasam means what? One taste or one feeling or one nature of various appearances appearing in Brahman. All of them have that one nature. That is what is called Ekarasam. Apadya means Vidya, through knowledge. Now, this Vidya is the only means through which you can know that Atma Swarupa Ekarasatvam is there in every appearance or every creation in the world. If you don't have that, avidya kritam bhuda matra upadi samsarjajam. Creation, Bodha matra means creation alone. Upadi samsarjajam, because of the contact with the instruments like the body of a human body or an animal body or any of those things. Upadi samsarjajam. That is the contact of the Atma Swarupam in the contact of the Upadi. That is what is appearing as the Bodha matra. Like a creation, it is appearing. That is coming out of what? Avidya kritam. It is happening due to avidya. Anyatva avabhasam. That avidya kritam upadi or the upadi samsarajam, contact with the upadi, gives rise to the human body or the animal body or any other creation in the world, is avabhasam, is known as anyatvam. Is a creation of separatedness is coming due to the avidya. Because avidya kritam bodha matra samsarjajam. It is due to the avidya that we are feeling the separatedness. Therefore, anyattu avabhasam. That we have to tiraskritya. Only when we do the abandoning of that. Purnameva. That purnatvam avashishyate, but we will come to that purnatvam only if we abandon that avidya krita separation. When what happens and when we that purnameva avashishyate, how does the purnam remain? Anandaram abahyam pratnyana ghana igarasas swabhavam kevalam brahma avashishyate. That purnam anandara abahyam, anandaram, same without any separation. Anandaram means without any separation. Abahyam, there is nothing external to it. Anandaram means internal also. Andaram without in the inside means anandaram. Anandaram can also be without space in between. So, abahyam, when you are talking about, you have to take that as without inside outside. That type of a Brahma cannot have inside outside separate. There is ekarasam. That is in which form? Prajnana ghana ekarasa swabhava. The prajnana ghanam, prajnanam Brahma, we heard that. The ekarasam is in the form of prajnanam. Atma ekarasam we heard in the previous explanation. Here Acharya is saying that it is in the form of prajnana ghanam. That conscious awareness or that prajnanam as that pulsation of chit in us by which everything is known. Vijnanam Brahma, that knowledge with which Vishesha Jnanam, Prajnanam, all those meanings are taking us to that special consciousness or awareness through which everything is appearing in itself. Kevalam Brahma. There is nothing other than Brahma in that one. That upadi or upadi keva avidyagritam will go when tirasri kritya, when we abandon that avidya, we will reach that purnatmeva Brahma. Now this Brahma is kevalam Brahma, is the intent of the first mantra of the Isavasya also. So there is a connection between this Shanti mantra and the first mantra of the Isavasya, because this Purnam, which has been mentioned as the Brahman here, as explained by Acharya, Prajnana Ghana Ikarasam, Anandaram Avahyam, without the inside outside, in conscious awareness, is pure Brahman, and that alone remains. Now that alone is what is spread inside and outside. This is exactly what is the word used at in that Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam that Vasyam, that word is the same word, spread ever, Vyapti, Vyavrittam, is the same meaning for that. So, the mantra Purnamada Purnamidam is indirectly giving the meaning of Brahman, which is going to be the main import of the first mantra of the Isavasyopanishad. And in the Isavasya, what is you have to understand is that here we have to understand that Isavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha ma ghridak kasya siddhanam is the first mantra. Now, here the Isha and the Brahman is the same. So before I go to the first mantra, Acharya has mentioned the connection between the 39 chapters prior to this with this mantra, because without the Karmakanda, the Mimamsakas who were in the Karmakanda, they were thinking earlier that this 40th chapter is a unwanted chapter and it is only just a Arthavada, or just, eulogizing the Brahma in which is, or Isha, which is being mentioned in the other chapters of the where they are asked to do the karma for the Isha, the Devas, etc. So here Acharya is saying that there is, even though there is appearing that these mantras are continuation, this chapter is not meant to be for Karmakanda, because there is a difference, very difference between the Karmakanda activity and the actions which are mentioned in this 18 mantras here. So here he says that even though Ishavasyam is beginning with the mantra, the nature of the mantra self, which is being mentioned in the first mantra, is not an appendage or not a continuation to the karma activity, but it is referring to the nature of Brahman, Yadatmyam, cha Atmana, Shuddhatva, Apava Vidvam, Apava Vidvaikatva, Nityatva, Shariratva, Sarvagadatva Vakshamanam. Now Vakshamanam means it is going to be explained in the 18 mantras. The nature of Atma, Yadatmyam of Atmana, which is going to be the Ishavasya, the word Isha is standing for. What is that? Shuddhatvam. It is purity in nature. Apapa Vidvam. It doesn't have any papa in it, any contamination in it. Atmatraptasya ka spriha. So there is no spriha or no contamination or for the Atma. Ekatvam is oneness. Nityatvam is eternity. Now the time and space is not there in the Brahman. So there is Nityatvam, which we can tell that where the time is not valid at all. It is not timelessness or the eternity in the sense that we talk about it, where the time doesn't operate. That is the nature of Brahman. And Ashariratvam. There is no Sharira for the Brahman. Brahman has, even though there are appearances of Brahman as in the Upadhi Samsarjajam, which the containers has got because of the space is occupied by a pot, is called a pot space. That way, a Jiva appearing with the Brahman, Atma Swarupa, is called a Jivatma, doesn't mean that the Brahman has got Sharira. No. Brahman has no Sharira. Sharira is the Upadhi, which is appearing as, but in Brahman there is no Shariratvam. there is no shariratvam or the bodilessness or incorporating. That sarvagadatvam, omnipresence. Now, location-wise, eternity and space, time and space, both are not valid in the Brahman because it is omnipresent. Omnipresence can be mentioned only when there is a limitation to space and we can say this is present only in this area or that area. So we cannot say the Brahman is in the unknown or Brahman is only in the known. It is spread equally everywhere. Isavasyopanishad sarvam. The word sarvam shows that where there is no limitation for anything to be contained in the word Brahman. So this is word that Tacha karmana viruddhyate iti yuktam esha karma suvinayogita. So this Isha is being mentioned not as a karma shesha for the 39 chapters, but to be taken as separate. And therefore, karmas which are being enjoyed are not to be appended to this 40th chapter and studied. Here, if you look at the chapters here, you will find that the first chapter is talking about Brahman, its nature, and how to know that Brahman is mentioned in the first chapter. The first mantra, Isavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tektena bhunjitaha ma ghridak kasya siddhanam. Whereas in the second mantra, if we go, it talks about Urvanneva karmani jijivishe satam samaha evam toi na anyado asti na karmo lipyade nare. Now this second mantra talks about those who are not able to follow the first mantra of renunciation and follow into the Brahma, nature of Brahma, is that if you are not able to do that, Urvanneha karmani, you continue to do the karma. Therefore, na anyado asti. Therefore, there is no other pantha. There is no other way for if you are not able to follow the method mentioned how to do the Atma Bhava or Brahma Swarupa as a Shravana Manana Nididhyasana in the mantra what is being mentioned. You have no other choice but to follow the karmas which has been done till the 39th chapter. That has to be done, followed. This is the second mantra he is talking about. So if we look at these two mantras, which needs a longer discussion, which I'm not going to take into these two mantras today because the first mantra itself will take one more day for me to explain. The second mantra also will take one more day. And to connect between the first and the second mantra alone will take another one more day. So 3 days will go in the first two mantras and the connection between them. And due to my limitation of my strength and eligibility, capacity to continue for more than 1 hour, I'm not going to strain and extend myself for doing that. In normal strength, I would have done it for 1.5 hours and done that. But respecting requests from everyone, I am winding up for today's talk. We'll take question answer related to what I have spoken today and restrict to your questions only to this. And with that, I am ending this day's work. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavada.
Thank you, Binduji, and thank you for the chanting, Nitya. So, as was indicated just now and at the start, we'll restrict the questions to anything related to this Upanishad that has already been brought forward. Anyone's welcome to come up. We definitely will end by within an hour from now, depending on how many questions there are. And let's just try to really honor this class, uh, in the way that we bring things forward on the stage. So anyone's welcome to raise your hand. If it's quiet, we're probably just all reflecting. Thank you again. And welcome, Srini. Did you want to go ahead?
Namaste, Srini.
Yeah. Namaste, Bindoji. Thank you for the beautiful session. So I think only one question I had is the word vyavrutti, right? Now, is that indicating expansion, or in some cases, doesn't it indicate division, or the plurality of vrittis, or where the table is there the chair is not there, or something like that? That is vyavrutti, or so it has two meanings? Or can you clarify on the word
Yeah, it has two meanings. Vyavritti can be used in a Vyavahara aspect where the same word has to be used for occupation of, in the pot is occupying the, space at the same time. Pot is inside the space. So Vyavritam is used in the space here in the sense that the pot is occupied by space. At the same time, the pot occupies the space. Both way you can say. So the word occupy can be used in both in the same meaning. Same way here, everything is Brahman. So everything is occupied by Brahman, but everything is appearance in Brahman or is inside Brahman. So therefore, like the pot is seen in the space, everything is inside the space, inside Brahman only. So, but the word occupy is used to use the indication both ways. In either way, it is occupying. Whether the pot is occupying the space or the space is occupying inside the pot, the word occupy is used. Same way, the word Brahman is occupying every appearance, or appearance are occupying inside or appearing inside Brahman as occupying, the Brahman space. That way you can understand that.
Thank you, Bindoji. That was my question.
Hari Om,
Namaste,
Bindoji.
Venkat. Hari Om.
Hari Om. I think very nice of you covering that Purnamadam, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. In this one, I have few questions because the idam is the one we try to understand with two examples you took, right? Fire and a sparkle have the same potency of the fire. That nature is not gone. Ekarasatva, that same essence is available within. Hence, that idam and Purnamadam both are reconciled. This is a way to reconcile. It look like that's a direction taken. When the Bhuta, that superimposition is removed, then the Avashesha, that Purnameva Avashishyate, that is the way you put it. Now, this Swabhava Sarupa, the Swabhava and Sarupa in that Bhava is available to the Jiva Bhava, Atma Bhava, the Bhava available as a that Rasatva available as a Bhava, and how do we reconcile this that Rasatva of the larger entity, and or just that this is a way to sample it? How is this? Especially the Sarupa Swabhava can be seen from a Adam and Idam perspective.
See, even though the words used are different, there is a convergence of their commonality because they are referring to the same thing. Purnamada Purnamidam. Same way, Isavasyam idam sarvam. So idam and sarvam is we use vasyam, idam sarvam. So you find that these words are used as two separate set of words, but when you say that Purnamada Purnamidam, the common word is Purnam. So if you take the Purnam as a common word, others and idam, both are Purnam. And how does it become Purnam? Because Purnat Purnam Udachyade and Purnam Avashishyade. In either way, Purnam Udachyade and Purnam Avashishyade, in both the cases, they are talking about the Purnam only. So the answer to your question is that the word Ekarasatvam in these two words, Atma Ekarasatvam, Prajnana Ghana Ekarasam. In their both is Atma is also Prajnana and Prajnana, I am Atma Brahma. When it is Prajnanam Brahma, there also it is talking about Brahma only. So we are not talking about something different inside the Brahman as a whole, whole area or the whole, the truth, which is occupying everything. So the Atma Ikarasatvam, Prajnana Ghana Ikarasatvam are indicating one is as a Jiva Bhava, we have Atma Ikarasatvam. As you know that Jivatma and Paramatma are the same, you drop the Jivatmatvam, Swabhava, that I am a Jivatvam. Now tomorrow, day after tomorrow, tomorrow and the week after that, when I am coming to the second verse, you will understand that how the difference is happening due to avidya kritam. That avidya kritam jiva rasam is the reason why we are following Atma Swabhava. The Atma Swabhava can be dissolved. Tena tektena bhunjita. That word is very important. Only when we do the tyaga of the individuality or our ego, our selfish or limiting desires for the world of enjoyment, we will be taken to Prajnana Ghana Ekarasam. Otherwise, we will be stuck with Avidyakrita, Atma Ekarasatvam. Even though we will be able to know we are Prajnana, we have got awareness, knowledge and everything, we will not be able to escalate that to the universal awareness or the totality. That you have to tena tyaktena bhunjidaha. Only through renunciation and by Punjida, by protecting that knowledge which is giving Ekarasattvam, Prajnana Ekarasattvam, we can arrive at that.
Sure, Vrindaji. I think that solves quite a bit. This Prajnana Ghana Ekarasattvam, in the deep sleep state, Isha and Prajna also used in deep sleep state in Mandukya. That the Ghana Ekarasattvam is Anandatvam. Is there is connection between there and here because it is referring to the same Isha who's also Prajnana Ghana there. Is there any relation there to here that Rasatvam is the a bhava available even deep sleep is common to all. Is that the connection here? What is the connection with using the Ghana as a additional indicator to Prajnana Ghana? What is the reason here?
If you remember the sixth mantra of Mandukya, what does it talk? It talks about Isha, no? Esha Sarveshwara Sarvatnya.
Correct.
So that Isha is what is referred there. We are all Isha all the time. Venkat, I have been talking this not only now. Every time I repeat this. We are Brahman, we are Isha, we are always that. But if we are not able to abandon our limitation of the bodily limitation, in the second mantra there is a Anyato asti na nare, one who thinks that I am a nara, for him there is Anyata asti, there is no other way. Nanya panda vidyate ayanaya is there in the Taittiriya. So all those things is that we are being told repeatedly by breaking their head by the rishis, saying that please abandon your limitation. Please understand that what comes out from Brahman is what Brahman only. Purnat Purna Mudachyade. From the Purna you can get only Purna. Why are we going back to the Isha of the deep sleep and the limitation of the individual again and again? Is something which we don't understand. That the Upanishad doesn't understand, the Rishi doesn't understand, the teachers do not understand, but the student will keep asking again and again that.
Yes, this makes it clear. Thank you, Vidaji. That Kevalam Brahma now clearly mapped. Thank you.
Just in time before you leave.
Yes, Karin, come up.
Yes, I'm up. Okay, the meaning of Isha is God. Yes?
Not the theistic God.
No, it's like the Brahman in form. Yes?
It is Brahman only.
Yes. But is it Brahman only? Is it projected in form?
No, formless.
Okay. Then my question does make sense. So you are able to leave. Thank you.
Thank you.